President Biden has announced stimulus checks totaling $22,000 for beneficiaries of the VA, SSI, SSDI, and Social Security. The implications of this for the millions of Americans who depend on these crucial programs are explained in this video. We'll dissect the specifics in simple language that makes it easy to grasp how this choice can affect you and your loved ones. The declaration made by President Biden, a synopsis of the current stimulus check decision of $2,000 and the significance of the qualifying requirements. Detailed information on who is eligible for these $2,000 payments will clarify which individuals, including Social Security recipients, are eligible. Additional Security Income, SSI, impact of VA veterans, affairs payments and SSDI Social Security disability insurance on Social Security recipients. Comprehensive details about how this stimulus will impact those who receive Social Security payments. We'll talk about the changes you may anticipate and how they can lower your everyday costs. Particular perspectives from SSI and SSDI recipients on what this implies for those who receive Social Security disability insurance and supplementary security income. Find out how the additional money may help you and make your financial circumstances better. Information for veterans and people receiving VA benefits to help them understand timeline and distribution of how this stimulus payment will help people who have served the nation further. When can you anticipate receiving your $2,000 check? We'll keep you informed about any adjustments regarding the distribution schedule. What actions may be necessary in light of the potential social and economic repercussions? A look at the potential benefits of this stimulus package on the economy. We'll also talk about the wider effects on the people and communities who depend on these essential advantages in a period of unpredictability in the economy. Millions of Americans, especially those who depend on Social Security supplemental security in SSI, Social Security disability insurance, SSDI, and Veterans Affairs, are interested in the possibility of financial relief. VA perks lately, conversations have focused on President Biden's possible decision to give $2,000 stimulus checks that are expressly intended for these recipients. Although this choice is still speculative as of this writing, it's important to consider the potential effects of background of such a move. Compared to other stimulus initiatives, the concept of $2,000 stimulus checks for Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and VA claimants marks a substantial shift. These targeted payments would concentrate on some of the most vulnerable portions of the populace in America, many of whom have fixed incomes and deal with particular financial difficulties. If the proposal is put into action, it may benefit millions of Americans who depend on these programs to significantly improve their financial situation. In order to comprehend the possible effects of this hypothetical stimulus, it is necessary to look at the target groups. Over 65 million Americans receive retirement, disability, and survivor benefits from Social Security, the average monthly amount for retired employees making around $1,800. With an average monthly payout of almost $600, SSI provides assistance to nearly 8 million elderly, blind, and handicapped persons with limited resources and income. Benefits under SSDI are available to almost 9 million disabled workers, who, because of severe impairments, are unable to work, receiving an average monthly compensation of almost $1,400. More than 5 million veterans get benefits from Virginia, which include healthcare services, pensions, and disability payments. Disability income. A $2,000 stimulus check, which many of the recipients live on fixed incomes, may provide them a major economic boost. This financial infusion might be used to cover bills, pay off debt, or even make tiny investments, or acquisitions that were previously unaffordable. For instance, a Social Security beneficiary, receiving an average benefit of $1,800 per month, would enjoy a more than twofold increase in income the month they get the stimulus check. Might be used to pay off past due payments, make necessary home repairs, buy necessities, or create a tiny emergency fund. When people spend their stimulus money, it is probable that the effects on the economy will go beyond the direct receivers. Stimulus funding. Additionally, for many recipients, particularly those receiving SSI or lower-end Social Security benefits, money circulates throughout the economy, potentially boosting local companies and further economic activity. This multiplier impact might assist enhance overall economic development and job creation. Payments for security. A $22,000 check may provide them with a temporary reprieve from financial stress and possibly improve their general well-being. But putting such a large-scale stimulus program into action would be fraught with difficulties. Funding would be a significant challenge because the project's overall cost may reach hundreds of billions of dollars, perhaps necessitating the issuance of more debt or the reallocation of money from other government budgetary categories. Further worries about possible inflationary pressures because a significant financial infusion might affect prices and make it more difficult to determine the precise qualifying requirements. Payment distribution would be essential because previous stimulus programs have encountered difficulties. In promptly and precisely contacting all qualified recipients, critics may contend that although a $2,000 one-time payment would offer comfort right away, it doesn't solve the long-term financial difficulties that many recipients confront, and that fundamental changes to these, in the long term, benefit programs would be more successful in helping to comprehend the possible effects and viability of this hypothetical stimulus program. Examining previous stimulus initiatives, especially ones aimed at comparable populations, is beneficial. The 2008, due to the financial crisis, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009 implemented economic stimulus payments of up to $600 for single people and $1,200 for married couples whose Social Security beneficiaries qualified for these benefits. More recently, in reaction to the financial burden of the COVID-19 epidemic, many rounds of stimulus payments were offered. A one-time payment of $250 was given to beneficiaries of Social Security, SSI, Veterans Disability Compensation, and Railroad Retirement benefits. Although the proposed $2,000 sum would represent a considerable increase compared to earlier initiatives, which ranged from $600 to $1,400 per eligible person, these previous efforts show that targeted stimulus payments to Social Security and other benefit recipients are not without precedent. These earlier initiatives. The proposal for $2,000 stimulus checks would probably be presented in light of the state of the economy right now and the unique difficulties that the target groups are facing since, in recent years, inflation has surpassed the cost of living. Beneficiaries may be able to make up lost time by receiving a sizable one-time payment in addition to modifications normally applied to Social Security and other payments. Increasing expenses that many SSDI and VA recipients must deal with. A stimulus payment combined with high healthcare expenditures might assist in paying for medical costs. Medicare or VA health insurance do not completely cover prescription medications or essential equipment. Continued financial difficulties, such as worries of a recession, may be used to reinforce the need for further assistance for disadvantaged groups. Rivals may also dispute such a boost, might aid in reducing wealth disparity by giving assistance to those who have traditionally had less opportunities to accumulate wealth. Such a proposal's political viability would rely on a number of variables. Actions that bolster Social Security veterans and recipients frequently have bipartisan support, but the scope and expense of this hypothetical program may encounter opposition, especially from fiscal conservatives. The political calendar that may be intended to affect the timing of such a proposal gaining support prior to the midterm elections. Nevertheless, depending on the makeup of Congress, this legislation may need to go through the budget reconciliation process, which has its own set of regulations. The public's opinion of the plan would probably determine how well received it is. In the event that the complete $2,000 stimulus check idea encounters substantial opposition several times, the economy and the needs of the target groups with high public support might potentially increase political pressure to act. Changes or substitutes that might be taken into consideration include smaller money transfers. Phased payments, which are dispersed over a number of months, are an alternative to direct payments that carry out such a stimulus program. Phased payments involve testing to limit payments to recipients below a particular income threshold or targeted aid through specific programs that benefit these groups.